We're going to take a few moments today and appreciate just how complete USC football recruiting has become. JD Martinez ran into an old friend in spring training, and that has made all the difference. And the Kings are taking advantage of their new salary cap space. Good morning. I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos morning report. I am back in this den of misery, this pit of despair known as Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I'm going to lift up my day by talking LA sports. So join me with this here. If you enjoy being in the know about LA sports, clickety-clack the like button, clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know we drop new content. Sharing is caring, let people know we exist, and by all means comment. There's always good stuff to talk about when it comes to LA. We also added a new subscriber to the Angelino familia. Thank you for getting in on the ground floor. I always am sincerely grateful for every last one of you. Before we go through the news and notes, a look at the scoreboard. The Dodgers have lost their fourth consecutive game. Have we seen the last of Noah Syndergaard? They lose 8-6 to the Reds. Syndergaard allowed 6 runs in 3 innings. Said Dave Roberts, it's just not working. Obviously, we can't continue at this pace of performance, unquote. Keep in mind, the Dodgers are getting back pitchers such as Julio Urias in a couple of days. They have rookies that they rely on now. Syndergaard might have just ended his Dodgers career. We just don't know just for sure yet. Meanwhile, even worse news over in Real Salt Lake. The Galaxy are out of U.S. Open Cup tournament, a 3-2 loss. Real Salt Lake, they're going to advance to face Houston in the semifinals in August. But what makes this so bad is that in the first half, Chicharito blasted out his knee with a non-contact injury. He was running, trying to go on an outnumbered attack, fell. No contact whatsoever, taken off the field. They're going to have an MRI. It doesn't look good. And Atlanta United and LAFC, well, they ran around a soccer field for about 90 minutes and didn't do anything. Meanwhile, today, the Dodgers are at Cincinnati at 9:30 in the morning. That's Clayton Kershaw, 7-4 with a 3.25 ERA. Graham Ashcraft is coming up for the Reds, 3-4, 6.64 ERA. It's good to take a step back once in a while. It is. You know, we always throw around names, we're throwing around stats, win-loss records, and it's kind of hard to appreciate the big picture. Stepping back helps to measure the impact. So know this, USC has added 22 players from high school for this year and 14 from the transfer portal going into the year. Of those 36 prospects, because that sounds like a big haul, and it is, but 24/7 Sports ranks 22 of them as 4-star recruits or higher. So it's not just quantity, it's quality that's coming to play for the Trojans this fall. ESPN called it the top combined recruiting class in the country. Combined, as in both high school students and transfers. Said the ESPN scribe, quote, "We may not even see the Trojans' top signee in 2023, but Malachi Nelson gives them an heir apparent to Caleb Williams, who can benefit from time to learn. Several portal transfers have limited eligibility, but big additions, such as defensive lineman Bear Alexander and Anthony Lucas, are coming off their freshman seasons," unquote. So quality, quantity, and youth for USC. CBS Sports listed players that are expected to make an instant impact in the Pac-12 this year. They also included USC wide receiver Dorian Singer as a transfer from Arizona. He caught 66 passes for 1,105 yards, 6 touchdowns last year. So yeah, Trojans are loaded. Maybe this time on both sides of the ball. Maybe. JD Martinez is second in slugging in the major leagues to Aaron Judge. Who thought that was going to happen when the Dodgers signed him over the winter for that cheap contract? So he was a stud for a long time with Boston, started to fall off. What happened? Well, glad you asked. It's LA's hitting coach, Robert Van Skojak. And I know I'm mispronouncing his name, so I apologize up front. The two have been friends for years. The other guy, Van Skojak, takes a job as a hitting coach with LA, and that split up the pairing. Martinez, he's just sitting there in spring training, studying his iPad, trying to figure out how to fix his swing. Said Martinez that the guy was like, no, dude, this is happening because of this. Just having a different set of eyes helped a lot, unquote. So what has changed? Martinez said that Van Skojak changed his hands, transition in his hand load, his legs, and holding back his back hip. Just little things, right? But anyway, it paid huge dividends. Martinez is blasting everything he sees, second in the major leagues in slugging percentage. Also for the Dodgers, Max Muncy, he did play yesterday. He had left Tuesday's game. He had a jammed finger, obviously, according to Dave Roberts, and to Max Muncy, no big deal. Reliever Daniel Hudson began a rehab assignment, by the way, in Arizona on Tuesday. It was just an inning. We still have no idea how long the guy's going to be in rehab in the first place, so we have to be patient. As predicted, the Kings signed left-handed defenseman Vladislav Gavrikov to a 2-year extension. It's for a little less than $6 million per year. The 27-year-old left-handed defenseman solved a massive problem for LA. The Kings had a lot of young defensemen, but they were almost all right-handed shooters. So that made things a little bit unbalanced. Gavrikov, they traded for him from Columbus at the trade deadline. He fits right in with Columbus. Now, LA still has $7.3 million in cap space, and they still have priorities to take care of. They definitely need to add a goalie, and they definitely want to try and get a contract extension done with restricted free agent Gabriel Velarde. Recently, we discussed rookies who could surprise for the Rams. CBS Sports is bullish on a Chargers rookie, linebacker Daiyan Henley. They like his athleticism. He's a converted wide receiver. And so because of that, yes, he added on some weight and whatever, but because he's a converted wide receiver, they fancy him to be a cover linebacker who could be a bit of a ball hawk. They also say he did not lose his quickness, despite trying to add on a few pounds to play linebacker. As for inside the locker room, though, the players are super impressed with wide receiver rookie Quentin Johnston. He already pencils in as the number 3 receiver in the Chargers offense behind Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. According to safety Derwin James, Johnston, quote, is that guy, unquote. Anybody else starting to get a little tired of that cliche of being that guy? Just wondering. But what about people who aren't rookies? Look at running back for the Bolts. We know Austin Eckler is telling everyone that he wants the bag, and I still contend that he's not going to get it from LA. They're going to be over the cap next year, significantly. And oh, by the way, they still haven't figured out how they're going to pay Justin Herbert. So what that means, Isaiah Spiller has a shot at the job. The Chargers didn't even draft a running back in this year's draft. So, yeah, we know Eckler's probably still the number 1. Don't be surprised if Spiller gets a lot of extra touches this year. We mentioned LAFC getting a draw. We also mentioned Real Salt Lake. Welcome back to MLS, former LAFC striker Christian Arango. He actually is joining Real Salt Lake, and that was just 4 months. 4 months after he left the black and gold for Pachuca down in Mexico. Arango was a beast in MLS. He scored 35 times in 58 games when he played for LAFC. So my question, and I'm not saying, this is not a leading question, I don't know the answer. If you're an LAFC fan, would you rather have Arango than Carlos Vela right now? I'm just asking. I don't know the answer. You know your team better than I. You tell me. I mentioned CBS Sports picking a Trojans player that they like. They also like a Bruins wide receiver. UCLA transfer J. Michael Sturdivant. Not as many yards as Singer, but one more touchdown. He's 6'3", which also makes an obvious target for whoever wins the quarterback battle over at UCLA. The Sparks have re-signed guard Katie Samuelson for the remainder of the season. She only started one game so far this year. She averages 9.8 points per game. Her big thing, outside shooting. She's 59% from three-point range. But let me know what you think in the comments thread. Talk to me about USC's recruiting and how complete they are. Tell me what you think about Noah Syndergaard, or for that matter, what you think the Galaxy's chances are if Chicharito has a devastating knee injury. And if you enjoyed this content, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We are talking LA sports every single day, no matter where the hell I am. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Corta El Queso production. Take care.